All right, good morning, everybody. Thanks so much for being here for another RC yoga class. I really feel that this is such a great way for us to be connected during this time. So I appreciate you all coming out and practicing, starting your day off or your afternoon or ending your day, Dorian, over in France. It's so great. Some of the joys of technology, I'll take them when they come for sure. So let's go ahead and settle in. As you feel ready to find yourself comfortable on your cushion, maybe take this moment to silence anything in your area, turn off a phone, shut a door, whatever it might be, so that you can give yourself these 45 minutes of sacred space for yourself. Just as we were discussing before, you know, the overwhelming sensation can often come in around the amount of suffering or how much change is needed, or however that looks like in your life. And we were just reminding each other this morning that it's one person at a time, one moment at a time, and really we have to remember that moment starts here. We have to take care of ourselves first, honor ourselves, make sure that our mind, body, and spirit come first, and then we can be of most service to those around us. So yoga is a great opportunity, even if you don't move through the postures, just simply giving yourself 45 minutes to breathe is quite a gift. So give yourself a little moment, or maybe a small smile, or even just a hand to heart center. Just a little thank you for self for being here and showing up this morning. And as we drop in, slowly start to let go of everything that you brought with you this morning. Let go of all of the parts and pieces of the day that led up to this moment. Letting it go with an exhale, feeling that inhale anchor you further into this present moment, grounding into your mat, into your body, mind, and spirit. Also letting go of what you'll step into when you leave, letting go of any anticipation of what the day may hold. Letting go of the worry or the stress of how am I going to get it done, or the to-do list. All of that can just be set aside. And again, we're not trying to run from these things. We're not trying to shove them away, push them down. We're just simply asking them to be settled down next to us for the time being. And allow your next inhale to drop down into the belly. Feel that sensation of anchoring through midline when the inhale comes in, letting the belly fill with breath. Long inhale here. And on the exhale, feel that exhale just gently seep out of the body. We don't have to push it out. We don't have to force anything. Maybe you can feel the air come out through the lips or through the nose. Watching the brilliance of the breath, settling the mind, settling the body. With our next inhale, we'll let the arms come out to the sides, reaching the fingers out from the shoulders. Long breath here. And on the exhale, we'll cross right arm over left, interlace the arms, and bring palms to touch. From here, gently bring the fingers towards the sky. And if it feels right for you, tuck the chin. Engage the belly to sit up nice and tall. Long inhales and long exhales here. And with your next exhale, gently release, slowly unwind, let the arms come out to the side, reaching those fingers out from the shoulders. On the exhale, left will come on top of right. We'll interlace those arms, palms come together, gently bring the fingers towards the sky. And again, if it feels right, you can tuck the chin. And slowly release back to center and gently unwind. We'll let the hands come down onto the knees. Some little hip circles here, just rolling those sits bones down into the earth, letting that movement come from the hips, maybe letting the waist and chest get involved. Again, let this movement be really organic. There's no right or wrong way to do this. And we'll change directions. And then slowly make your way back to center. Let's go ahead and slide off of our cushion if we're up on one, and we'll bring the feet together for Baddha Konasana. Soles of the feet come towards one another, bringing the heels in nice and close towards the pelvis. Options here, we can interlace the fingers around the toes and sit up nice and tall, or we can let those fingers land down on the earth in front of us. With our next inhale, we'll feel that length of the body rising up through the midline. And with our exhale, slowly begin to come forward, walking those fingers out in front of the mat. On the inhale, we'll lengthen through the spine, and on the exhale, allow the body to come forward. And when you feel like you're about as far as you want to go this morning, and maybe you're feeling that stopping point in the hips or the low back, maybe in the knees, when you feel that point arise, we'll gently let go of head, neck, and shoulders, bringing the gaze towards the toes. One more breath here in a gentle bow. And slowly allow your inhale to bring you back to center. We'll keep the soles of the feet together, but push the ankles away. So we've got a nice big diagonal here in our lap. Right hand comes underneath the right ankle, and gently bring that elbow down towards the earth. From here, the left arm is going to rise to the sky, reaching through those left fingers, feeling the twist in the belly, reaching the fingers up, gaze to the sky. One more long breath here. And on the exhale, gently release and unwind, coming back to center. We'll place the left hand underneath the left ankle and the elbow making its way towards the earth. From here, gently twisting the body and bringing the right arm to the sky, reaching through those right fingers. Opening through the side body. Again, trying to keep the hips level, the sits bones pressed into the earth. And on the exhale, gently release, coming back to center. We're going to bring the knees together and bring the heels in close to the body. Nice big hug. Wrapping the arms around the knees. Bring those knees in towards you. Lengthen through the body and sit up nice and tall. One breath here. And on the exhale, we'll keep the left knee where it is and extend the right leg out in front. And gently bring the left leg across. Keep both sits bones pressed into the earth. We've got that left heel tucked in nice and close to the body. Right arm reaches out to the side and engages around the knee. So elbow holds that knee in nice and tight. Left hand comes down around the back of the body. On the inhale, we want to lift through the spine, and on the exhale, gently twist. To avoid a full spinal twist here, just simply hold the leg in. So listen to what your body needs. A spinal twist might not be what's called for this morning. And if it feels right for you, you can gaze over the left shoulder. And from here, slowly return back to center. We'll straighten the left leg out to meet the right. Arms come up overhead, come right up on top of those sits bones, and then gently fold forward, throwing the fingers way out over the toes, letting the gaze drop to the knees. We'll roll the sits bones out behind us on the inhale, and the exhale, come down just a little further. Breathing here. Next inhale, slowly make your way back to center. And we'll hug that right knee in. From here, bring the right knee across the body, planting that right foot down to the left. Left arm comes around the body, grabbing onto the knee, and then right hand places down on the earth behind us. On the inhale, we lift through the spine, and exhale, gently twist, maybe allowing the gaze to eventually come over that right shoulder. One more long breath here. And on your exhale, slowly release, coming back to center. Right leg extends out to meet the left, arms rise up overhead, and we'll fold forward. Again, think about throwing the fingers way out over the toes. Rolling your sits bones out behind you. Knees can stay bent if that feels most right for you this morning. Maybe straighten out one leg at a time. We'll take one more long, deep breath here. And with your next inhale, slowly make your way back to center. We're going to place both feet to the left side of the body. We're going to allow the right knee to stay bent and the left leg to be bent also, but the foot planted down into the earth. So we've got our right foot just slightly tucked behind the left. Right hand is down on the earth next to us, just a little bit out from the top of the shoulder. On the inhale, we're going to lift the pelvis as the left arm rises to the sky. So inhale, we lift up, straightening both legs, reaching the left arm to the sky, lifting through the side body. One more long breath here. And on the exhale, gently bend the knees and return down. Take one more long breath here. And roll out that right wrist if it feels like it needs it. And we'll take one more, lifting the pelvis, straightening the legs, rising left arm to the sky. Engage the side body. You're welcome to leave one knee on the earth if that feels more right for your body this morning. And on the exhale, we'll come down. From here, we'll switch sides, bringing both feet to the left side of the body. Again, the left knee is bent, laying on the earth. Right knee is bent, right foot planted down. And just gently tuck that left foot behind the right foot. Left hand is landing down on the earth at an angle out away from the shoulder. Right arm's going to rise as we lift the pelvis and straighten the legs. Reaching that right arm to the sky, straighten the legs, lift the pelvis. Engage the belly. And on the exhale, we'll gently lower down, bend the knees, rest here. And with your next inhale, we'll rise up. Again, you're welcome to keep that left knee on the earth if that feels more right for you, reaching the fingers up towards the heavens. And from here, we're gonna roll forward, finding plank. Coming up on the toes, engage through the belly, press the palms into the earth. And from here, we'll find downward dog. Lifting the hips up towards the sky, and allow the knees to stay bent. Maybe pedal the feet from left to right. And slowly making your way into your first dog. Again, really listening to your body. Maybe those knees need to stay bent so the back can stay straight. Maybe the heels are making their way towards the earth. We'll all be in a little bit of a different place. And we'll take one more breath here. And with our next inhale, we're going to come up onto the toes, bend the knees, and let the shins hover parallel with the mat. Pressing into the hands, we'll take one breath here. And on our inhale, let's step the left foot forward. We're going to plant the right foot down. Left foot is in line with the instep of the right. We're going to press up for warrior two. Strong into this left leg, pressing through that left quad, engage the belly to rise up. Arms are out at the side, gaze is over left hand. Take your time finding your warrior. Dropping the shoulders, reaching through the fingers. Engaging through this left inner thigh. Imagine that you're trying to wrap your knee around your baby toe. That leg stays nice and open. One more long breath here. On our inhale, we're going to turn all 10 toes to face forward, Bringing the arms to the sky, finding five-pointed star, reaching those fingers up towards the heavens, engaging through the belly. Feel that strength in the core. And on our exhale, we're going to turn opposite direction. Those right toes turn out, bending right knee, gaze over the right hand. Finding warrior two. Again, take your time for those micro movements. Notice if maybe the chest is hanging out a little far. We need to pull that back. Make sure that the right knee is not coming down towards midline. Keep that right knee back. Really check the alignment. The foundation of these postures is most important. One more breath here. And with our next inhale, we'll turn all 10 toes to face forward. Arms rise to the sky. Find five-pointed star. Lift through the chest, engage the belly. On the exhale, hands come down to the hips. We'll turn those sits bones out behind us, finding a wide angle forward fold. Gaze at the earth. Lift your sits bones towards the sky. Again, legs are straight but buoyant. Being careful not to hyperextend through the knees. Gaze is at the earth. One more long breath here. On our exhale, let the upper body dangle. Find a full forward fold, keeping those feet nice and wide. Hands might want to land down on the earth, or we can interlace at the elbows. Shaking the head, yes here. Shaking the head, no. And we'll take one more long breath. And with our next inhale, we'll walk the hands to the right, bringing the hands over towards that right foot. From here, we're gonna bend the right knee, keep the left leg nice and straight. We're gonna drop into a Tai Chi squat. We've got lots of options. This might be as far as you want to go, or you can drop the hips down towards that right heel, maybe letting the left toes come up off of the earth. And then maybe if it feels right for you, hands can come to heart center. Again, listen to your body, not mine. Stop anywhere along that progression that feels most right for you. One more long breath. From here, we're going to plant the hands down towards the center of the mat, pressing back up, finding that wide angle forward fold. And from here, gently walking the hands to the left, placing the hands nice and close to that left foot. We're going to bend the left knee. Again, this might be enough for you. Or we can set the hips down and let those right toes rise to the sky. This might feel really beautiful this morning, or we can bring hands to heart center. So again, find what feels right for you, being gentle on the inner thighs. Long, deep breath here. And with our next inhale, we'll bring our hands to the center of the mat, pressing back up, finding that wide angle forward fold. Breathe here. And gently we'll heel to toe, walk the feet towards one another, bringing those feet hip width apart. Finding Uttanasana, rolling sits bones to the sky, again letting hands dangle or maybe fingers resting on the mat. We're going to inhale up for chair. So as we transition, we're going to shift the weight into our heels. Drop the sit bones down towards the earth. Arms are by the sides, and then we raise them towards the sky. Sitting the bottom back here, reaching through the fingers. Keeping the chest up towards the, out in front of us, lifting the fingers towards the sky. And with our next inhale, we're going to engage the glutes as we rise up. And then come all the way up onto the tippy toes. Reach through those fingers, strong in the body, feeling the legs activate. Attempting to stay up on the tippies, we'll come back for a chair. Dropping the hips. And from here, rising back up, staying on those tippies. And then exhale, drop into the heels, bring the weight back into the heels, and find chair again. And with our next inhale, we'll rise all the way up, hands coming down by our sides, bringing those feet a little wider than hip width and taking some big hip circles. Just enjoying this morning, feeling all of the movement in the hips. Maybe even visualizing the way that that ball and socket joint is working here. Rolling the head of the femur into the acetabulum. And then we'll slowly make our way back to center. Heel to toe, we'll walk the feet towards one another. Again, keeping those feet about hip width apart. Inhale, arms rise up, reaching through the fingers. On the exhale, right hand will come down by our side as the left arm arcs over. We're going to reach the right fingers towards the earth, opening through the side body. And slowly inhale back to center. Engage the belly, reach through the fingers. Exhale, opposite direction. Left hand comes down to the earth and we arc over. Next inhale, slowly make your way back to center, reaching those fingers up towards the heavens. Again, we're going to come up onto our tippy toes. Really feeling strength in the back of the body. We'll be doing a lot of sitting today. Activate the lower legs. One more breath here. And on the exhale, slowly release. We're going to shift our weight onto the right foot. Left foot will come up for tree. Finding whatever tree you're at this morning, maybe the ankle somewhere around the knee or up into the inner thigh. From here, hands come to heart center. Strong through that standing leg. The knee is buoyant. Pressing this left knee out behind you. So we're still activating those left glutes here in tree. Activating those left lateral rotators. One more breath here. On the inhale, we'll bring our arms up to the sky and bring that left knee out in front. The ankle, knee, and hip are all at 90 here. Reaching through the fingers, strong in the belly. And on the exhale, bending the arms, coming into goddess arms here. Fingers are spread wide. On our exhale, we're going to turn towards this left knee. Engage the belly. Imagine that you're wringing out the belly like a towel. Let all that movement come from the strength of the belly. Slowly make your way all the way back through center and release down. You can roll out that right ankle. Take it one direction and then the other. And we're going to change sides, grounding the left leg down into the earth. Right foot will come for tree. Somewhere around the ankle, up to the inner thigh, just not directly into the knee. Pressing that right knee out behind you. Engage the back side of the body. Arms come to heart center. Settle your gaze. Feel the core strong in that left leg. And from here, we're going to let the arms rise to the sky as that left knee comes out in front. Or excuse me, right knee. We have a 90 at ankle, knee, and hip. Reaching through those fingers. We'll take one more breath here. And then bending the elbows. Stretching those fingers out nice and wide. Loving on those fingers here. They do a lot of work for us when we're sitting at our computer. And then using the belly, we're going to wring out that belly. Twist towards the right. One more breath. And on your exhale, unwind and release, coming back to center. We'll roll out that left ankle. Taking it one direction and then the other. And from here, we're going to come up to the top of the mat. So finding yourself at the narrow edge, we'll ground our feet down into the earth. Feet will start right about hip width apart. Inhale, arms rise to the sky. We'll bring the palms towards one another and gently fold forward, rolling the sits bones out behind you, coming all the way down into our full forward fold. Placing the hands just below the knees, we'll inhale for a flat back. Come up nice and slow, engage the belly. On our exhale, gently fold forward. We're going to step the left foot back and come on up for warrior one. Long inhale here. Listen to the body and then make those micro adjustments if they're needed. Breathing here, finding your warrior. On the exhale, we'll come into warrior two. Widen the stance just slightly. Gaze over that right hand. Drop the shoulders, reach through the fingers. On the exhale, we'll find peaceful warrior. Right arm rises up, left hand lands down on the leg or coming around the back of the body, opening through the belly. Inhale, find warrior two. Nice strong transition. We're going to come into a crescent lunge, come up onto those left toes. Arms rise to the sky. Feel the strength in the back of the body. One more breath. And on our exhale, hands land down on the earth. We're going to step back for plank. We'll come down, either knees, chest, and chin, or bend those elbows, chaturanga, come all the way to the floor. And with our next inhale, we can find cobra. And from here, find downward dog. We'll take one long breath here. And with our next inhale, we'll bring that left foot forward. Rise up for warrior one. Take your time. Again, let these transitions be just as important as the postures themselves. Reach through those fingers. On the exhale, we'll find warrior two. Widen the stance. Gaze is over the left hand. On your exhale, peaceful warrior. Breathe into the belly. Inhale back into warrior two. And strong transition into crescent. Come up on those right toes. Arms rise to the sky. Strong in those right glutes. One more breath here. On the exhale, hands land on the earth. We're going to step right foot forward to meet the left. Come on up for half lift. Exhale for a full forward fold. And we'll reverse swan dive up. Engage the belly. Arms reach out. Gentle bend in the knees. Protect the low back. Fingers rise to the sky. On our exhale, we'll find hands at heart center. Breathe here. Inhale, arms rise up. Palms come to touch. We'll exhale and fold forward. We'll inhale for a half lift. Exhale, fold forward. Step the left foot back, rise up for warrior one. Exhale, we'll find warrior two. Exhale, we'll find peaceful warrior. Inhale, warrior two. And inhale, find crescent lunge. From here, hands land on the earth. We'll step back for plank. Options are knees, chest, and chin. You can always come right into a tabletop or lower yourself to the earth. We'll find a cobra or an upward dog. And from here, find downward dog. Breathe here. Child's pose is always welcome. And with our next inhale, we'll bring the left foot forward. Rise up for warrior one. On the exhale, find warrior two. Exhale, peaceful warrior. Inhale, warrior two. Inhale, crescent lunge. And exhale, hands land on the earth. We'll step that right foot forward to meet the left. Take your inhale for a half forward fold. Exhale, full forward fold. And we'll reverse swan dive up. Again, soft in the knees. Reaching those arms out, rising up. Hands come to heart center. Breathe here. One more long breath. And we'll let those arms rise to the sky. Bringing palms together, we'll fold forward. Placing the hands just below the knees for a half lift. Exhale, fold forward. We'll step the left foot back. Rise up for warrior one. Exhale, warrior two. Exhale, peaceful warrior. Inhale, warrior two. Inhale, crescent lunge. Exhale, hands to the earth, find plank. Lower down, knees, chest and chin. Chaturanga, find cobra or upward dog. And we'll meet back up in downward dog. And with our next inhale, we'll bring that left foot forward, finding warrior one. Exhale, warrior two. Exhale, peaceful warrior. Inhale, warrior two. And inhale, crescent lunge. On our exhale, hands land on the earth. From here, we're going to step the left foot back for downward dog. One long breath here. And then gently bring the knees to the earth. We'll find child's pose. Sit the bottom back towards the heels, forehead to the earth. And breathe here. And with your next inhale, we'll bring the hands back towards the knees. Gently press up to find hero. Bringing those legs together, sitting the bottom back in the space between the heels, knees pointed directly out in front. Roll the shoulders down and back, letting the hands rest on the thighs. Giving ourselves these next few moments, really embodying this posture. Finding the hero pose, we're on our knees. Finding gratitude and humility. One more long breath here. And slowly coming onto the knees. And then we're going to walk all the way out onto the mat, lowering ourselves down onto one side. We'll cradle the head in the hand. Keeping the bottom leg nice and straight here. You're welcome to bend it for a little bit more balance, but we'll attempt to keep it straight if we can. We're going to bend that top leg, bring it in towards the body. Grabbing onto either the big toe or to the bottom of the foot, we're going to kick that top leg towards the sky. Maybe this is better for you to hold on down by the knee. So listen to what your body needs. You can stay here or lower the head down. Releasing the hand or lifting through that right foot. Allowing your bottom leg to stay flexed so it's strong and active. Top leg is really reaching up towards the heavens. Breathing here. And with your next inhale, gently cradle the head in the hand. And we're going to bend that top leg, placing the foot down onto the mat right in front of the hip. We're going to keep that knee standing. Left or bottom leg is straight and that foot is flexed. From here, we're going to lift that bottom leg up. Imagine that you're holding a cup of tea on the inside of your foot, trying to keep that as strong and steady as we can. Then exhale, release. And we'll do one more here. Inhale, lift that bottom leg, engage the inner thigh. And from here, slowly release down. We're going to turn to the other side. You're welcome to just roll over. I'm going to flip-flop so that I can face you. And we'll place the head in the hand, straightening the legs. And from here, we'll bend that top leg, bringing the foot in towards the body. Again, maybe grabbing the foot or the toe and kicking towards the sky. You're welcome to stay here or lower the head down. Finding your breath. And with our next inhale, we'll go ahead and hold the head. We're going to bend the knee and place the foot down on the mat right in front of the hips. Straightening that bottom leg, we're going to flex the foot and then lift the foot towards the sky. Again, imagine that you're holding a little cup on the inside of the foot. And then exhale, release. We'll do one more here. Inhale, lift that leg. And on your exhale, gently release. We'll roll over onto our backs, bringing knees into chest. Maybe rolling side to side, maybe creating a little egg beater or figure eight with those knees. And we'll let the knees now come out just a little bit wider than the chest. Kind of a lazy, happy baby here, just letting the knees drop down. And then gently bringing those knees back towards one another. We're going to place the feet down onto the earth. From here, we're going to cross our left ankle on top of that right quad. Gently press the left knee away. Flexing that left foot nice and strong. We'll take 2 more breaths here. And with our next inhale, we'll let this right leg come in towards us, maybe holding on to the hamstrings or the shin of that right leg. We want both feet flexed here, really protecting the ligaments and tendons of the foot, breathing into the outside of that left leg. And slowly release down, gently unwind. And from here, we'll place the right ankle on top of the left quad and gently press that knee away. And slowly release. Let that left leg come in towards you. Again, maybe holding hamstrings, maybe holding the shin, and we'll flex the feet. And with your next exhale, go ahead and release that left leg back down on the earth. Gently unwind. We're going to straighten both of the legs out. Arms come up overhead for a nice full body stretch from fingertips to toes. And on the exhale, gently release. We'll let the hands come down by our sides, letting the feet flop open. We'll place the backs of the hands on the earth so the palms are open to the space in the room. Letting the eyes close, maybe feeling the eyeballs get heavy, dropping back into the back of the skull. Placing the tongue right behind those front 2 teeth where the teeth meet the roof of the mouth, letting the jaw be open and at rest. We'll bring our awareness now down into the shoulders, allowing those shoulders to roll down towards the earth, noticing the place where the back of the shoulders makes contact with the mat. We'll follow this line of contact down the backs of the arms. into the backs of the hands. Maybe noticing how the knuckles hold up the hands, gently unfurling the fingers, creating as much space as you can in the palm of the hand. And letting the awareness come back up into the shoulders, maybe feeling them a little heavier now, resting on the earth. And we'll trace that line of contact down the back, recognizing those places where the spine presses heavy into the earth. Maybe where the spine gently lifts up, floating, hovering over the mat. And then again, landing down into the earth, that strong hold of the sacrum. Following this point of contact where the back of the body meets the earth, down the backs of the legs, noticing the hover behind the knees. Calves are resting heavy on the earth. Heels resting heavy on the earth. And recognizing that juxtaposition of the heaviness of the heels and the weightlessness of the toes. Letting the breath settle into these places where the body meets the earth. Becoming aware of the contact of the body being held by mat, being held by the floor, and being held by the earth. The back of the body holds us up, protects us, gives us security and strength so that the front of the body can be open. Heart can rise, belly can rise. Letting that softness of the intimacy of our underbelly begin to shine forward. Nourishing the throat, the heart, the belly, the pelvis. And with our next inhale, placing one hand on low belly, one hand on heart center, feeling the breath, breathing deep into these places. And with our next inhale, letting an intention drop in, one that we can carry with us through the day, maybe through the week, maybe out into how we live our lives, into the world. Letting that intention drop in, first thing, right thing. You don't need to create a story or an explanation, just simply hold this intention in the belly and in the heart center. And taking this intention with you as you slowly begin to move, allowing the body to roll onto one side, allowing the knees to be in towards chest. Again, allowing this intention to rise and fall with each inhale and exhale. As we slowly press up to a comfortable seated position. Maybe again, returning one hand to heart center, one hand to the low belly. And one more long, deep breath here. I want to thank you all for joining in practice this morning. Have a beautiful day. I'll be with you tomorrow as we wrap up the yoga portion of the conference. Namaste.